Yes, I am streaming right now. Hello, I am Devanshu Kohli. So I am learning React fundamentals, so I can like become full stack app developer in Munstack. My background is mostly about backend engineering. You can check out the links in the description to know more about me, and you can reach out to me if you have you want to connect or a simple chat. So yesterday we were talking about in this course where I was learning the basic JavaScript concepts like variables, array, objects. So I do have knowledge of this. So we will quickly reiterate through. Let me open our repo in VS Code. Now, where was it? There. Let's continue read through. Also, let me open my more focus so I do know like what I want to do. 50 minutes should be enough. Let's start. Then again, start it. Objects. There are few different ways of defining objects in JavaScript. One very common method is using object literals, which happens by listing its property within braces. So this is the classic example of object which has a name, age, education in it. Hmm. So I can say this one is example of nested object because that just means we have object inside object. Uh, for example, we have named object 3. Inside that object, we have another object called name, and it has a key value pair with the name first and last. So the values of the properties can be of any type like integer, strings, arrays, objects. The properties of an object are referenced by using the dot notation or by using brackets. So generally we use dot notation for accessing the properties of the object. You can also add properties to an object on the fly by either using dot notation or brackets. Yep, same. The later of the addition has to be done by using brackets because when using dot notation, secret number is not valid property name because of the space character. Yes, this is uh, it is also not recommended because of how it differs from accessing the properties because there is a space in between them. So most of the time either people use a small snake case or camel case letters to write object properties in objects. So we have just have to use only the dot notation using dot notation. So it stays consistencies in our entire application. Naturally, objects in JavaScript can also have methods. However, during this course, we do not need to define any objects with methods of their own. This is why they are only discussed briefly during the course. Objects can also be defined using so-called constructor function, which results in mechanism reminiscent of many other programming languages. For example, Java's classes. Despite this similarity, JavaScript does not have classes in the same sense as object-oriented programming language. There has been, however, the addition of the class syntax starting from version ES6, which in some cases helps structure object-oriented classes. Function. We have already become familiar with defining arrow function. The complete process without cutting corners of defining an arrow function is as below. So this is the one. So what I like know so far is first close this. There is nothing different between normal function and arrow function. It's just way easier to write arrow function, and modern application are like based on arrow function only. You will see mix of the like arrow function in most of the time, and I am damn sure that it is has become like a default de facto writing style. Let's continue it, and the function is called can be expected like this. Okay. Hmm. If there is just a single parameter, we can exclude the parenthesis from the definition. Const square p console of p. If the function only contains a single expression, then the braces are not needed. In this case, the function only returns the result of its only expression. Now, if we remove console printing, we can further shorten the function definition. This form is particularly handy when manipulating arrays. For example, when using the map method, we have an array. So we are basically doing this in my console. If I write something like this, let's say const array is equal to 1, 2, and 3. Right now what I will do, array dot map method, in which I'm gonna take one argument called p. Then I will have p. That means every element in the array will be multiplied by itself. So this is how like array methods are working. Hmm. Let's go. Where was it? Here. This form is particularly handy when manipulating arrays. For example, when using the map method, const t. Okay. The arrow function feature was added in JavaScript in 2015 with version ES6. Before this, the only way to define function was by using keyword function. Yep. It is also like used a lot. Function. There are two ways to reference a function. One is giving a name in a function declaration, something like this. When the function is by using function expression. Yes, this one. So as you might know, this is really close to like arrow function. You just remove function keyword from here and add arrow symbol here, so it will just become arrow function. Okay, now we have an exercise. We continue building the application that we started working on in the previous exercise. You can write the code into the same project since we are only interested in the final state of the submitted application. Pro tip, you may run into issue when it comes to the structure of the props that components receive. A good way to make things more clear is by printing the props to the console. For example, I say, so every time I write something, let's run our project. I can like use this console log props. So I damn know what I'm getting at. So these are my props for here. Total component. Okay, so uh, if and when you encounter an error message like objects are not valid as agile, keep in mind that things told here, what it is told. This one. So that means React renderer is trying to access an element but found an object itself, so it may not be able to render it. So like we have to access their values using something like this. Hmm. Course information step 3. Let's move forward to using object in our application. Modify the variable definition of the app component as follows and also refactor the application so that it still works. Const app component. Uh, okay, that means I just have to remove everything, right? And here export default app. There is something print here, which is this. Hmm. Let's do. We have a course part one. These are objects. This both. Okay. Mm. Place the objects into an array. Modify the variable definition of app into the following form and modify the other parts of the application accordingly. I don't understand like what it is trying to say. So, I'm sorry. So like I have to do something like this. Create a single variable called part and take array. So in those array, I have to move these objects. That's what it's saying, right? So let's move it. For some reason, I'm remembering that song from Zoo, Madagascar. Let's try to move it, something like that. Okay, so I moved it. Now, what is NB? At this point, you can assume that there are always three items, so there is no need to go through the arrays using loops. We will come back to the topic of rendering components based on items in arrays with a more thorough explanation in the next part of the course. However, do not pass different object as a separate props from the app components to the component content and total. Instead, pass them directly as an array. So, I have like also definition here, and I would like to create a three component which has const header is equal to props that we are going to pass, and in that uh, first I will use return. In return, I have a fragments, and in fragments, I'm going to parse. Uh, so header, I will use h1 props dot force, and for the in return, I will just simply use header component with the course being parsed as course, and this is how I will do it. So let's see, did I get it right or not? Yep, I get it right. Now, another component that I have to create is content component. Let's first add this all the things into our Git repository. vst add dot vst add a header component. Oh, now I should have mentioned this part. Otherwise, I'm doing the same thing as yesterday. Let's start mentioning it. Const content component. I'm going to pass props, then I'm going to return it. Now here is our fragments. So in content, how are they managing? So I have to just pass parts only. So uh, this one might be a little tricky. So let's mention this content parts. Uh, 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 so part. s- mm, mm, Part. So for this one, I am passing an array of object. So like I have to reiterate through them. So suppose I'm using P and I have only three. So even they I think mentioned that I don't have to go through loops. No need to go through loops arrays. So you can say something like this. Props dot uh name. But then again, how if I'm not going to see, then props dot map, is that how you do it? I don't know. What I know far is that we have a p tag. Here I will access the name of the props dot name, right? Now I have one dash here, then another object. Here I will access their exercise. Okay, so in the content, uh, mm, 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 I wonder if it's work. Yeah, I thought so. It's not gonna work. Mm, let's see if I have to like loop through here, what I can do. Props dot name. Mm, let's see. Props dot map. In map method, I will have one key and one value. So in that key value, I'm going to like can't I just directly like use this something like this k and then v, will this work? I don't know. Props map is not a function. What is this? Type error. This is not good. Hmm. For accessing array. So let me look at back at what I did in yesterday. For content, I believe I did something. Mm, mm, uh, let's look at my uh, here repositories, full stack submission, and let's see the commits. this one. Hmm. So I was using, but here I am also mentioning part uh, component like 3 times, and that's how I able to do it, right? But here, if I'm not like able to create two components, then how will I manage? For example, in the content component, they are only going to pass the array of object like parts, and in the content component itself, so it's feel like the role is reversed. So content component is here and the part component is here. Okay. Mm, let's try to like replicate this thing. So let's create another const part component, profs return fragments. Now I have uh first hydrogen check. So in the part, uh, if I like write it, then it's gonna be same because I thought this one might be good. Basically, in component, what I write, it's gonna show in the UI. So, mm, mm, exercise, but that's not how I want to. I just want to pass only the content and the. Okay, so here I'm going to use a part component maybe 3 times. I wonder if that's how like use. So here I will have one name, then I will have an exercise as well. In both, I will loop through props dot name, props dot exercises. Wonder if I have to like loop through it or uh, and in the part component, I will just simply write p tag with the this props dot name and props dot exercises. Let's see what do we have got. Okay, so what I know is that this one printed, but our props like name and exercise did not pass through, not even the first one. So there is something like mistake I did. So I have to like part dot name. How like should I loop through this thing? I have props dot map. In that map, I have key and value pair. So I will have this. Is that like what they are trying to do? For example, key, I will have the key here and the value here, our exercise. Okay, so uncode type and a profit map is not function. Uh, it's not a function. So, like, what I am doing wrong? Let's see in commit if we can able to find something. I remember that I used something like loop or something. I don't know if I committed it or not, but I damn sure that I used a loop somewhere to tackle that. Like rendering the list. Yeah, rendering the list. Let's say in this rendering list. Yeah, this one. So I have a key value pair. So how do you person list person? Okay, people. So so if I create another uh, variable called part list, and in that I am iterating over part as key and value, then I am basically doing uh, 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 const p p dot name exercises, right? Now all I have to do is sorry, v dot. Now all I have to do is rather than passing the part, I will just part list. Now in the content component, I don't have to like loop through this all. I will just move this one here and remove this. Now will it work? What do you think? Will it work? I have a feeling that I am so close, but still some making there is some mistakes I'm making. So I have already defined the p component like p tag here, right? So in the content, all I have to do is access the props with the name. Is that what it is saying? But I did like so map dot person. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, okay. So let's suppose I rewrite the P and uh move this thing to here. Props list in I will going to pass through props and and in the content I'm going to pass the part. Will this work? props.map is not a function. I'm getting this for a quite a while now. Uh, 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 okay, let's ask ChatGPT if like what it's say. Where is our React? There is no React. Okay, so I am trying to uh, implement loop here for rendering part array of objects. So tell me what I am doing wrong. Let's see what it's got. Let's walk this through the two main problems in your code. One is conceptual, how props work, and the other is about how map actually behaves in React rendering. Okay, so let's see. Problem, you're mapping the wrong thing. Props is not an array, but yeah, actually, why didn't I think of it? Why didn't I try to console log it, even though it was so obvious? Content props. Like, I would like to see what kind of props I am getting. But then again, I am seeing array of object, right? Content props, array of object. So, doesn't that mean I'm iterating over an object? What I'm doing wrong? Part. So inside content, the structure is part is array of object. Yep. Which means the array lives inside props dot part, not in props. I see this one. I see. So here part is like key and this one is value because it is passing as an object. So let's see if I access this as part and props dot part dot map, then what will happen? Let's render the nothing happened and the error is gone. That means something did happen. Let's see. The prop is not an error. You passed part. So inside the structure, this one. Okay, I fix this. Wrong parenthesis in a map function signature element and index. You wrote k and v, but then you said k dot name and v dot exercise. V is index, not the object. Correct usage is part dot name. I see. So I have to part part dot name part dot exercise. Will it now work? No, it's still not work. Let's say uh we you are trying to render the mapped result incorrectly. Cause prop list. Yes, I created this one. Map result incorrectly you created, but then returned this one. Yeah, I do have a this doesn't make sense because prop list is an array of JSX. Okay, so let also console log props list and see. Okay, so it is a same but different. So now I have a type and a key. Key is null because I'm not getting that name and exercise in here, not an object. So you should render it correctly. And how should I render it? mm, 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 properly part and index. So I have to add another argument here, index. Okay. Now here p. Oh yeah, right. Those key. Why didn't I forget? Index. And here I have to like do part dot name, and in return all I have to do is just write prop list. Yeah, props list. Is that it? Oh, finally. So that's what I was doing wrong. I see, I see. But then let me see. This one, comment it out. This one, comment it out. So, my instinct were right on the mark that I am, for example, how did I come to the conclusion? I have a array of object here with some key and values. Let's close this. So I only have to like write one content component, and I'm going to pass that entire array of object with this part. What does it say? What does it say? This attributes. So I'm going to pass in as an attribute. Now in the content component, I have props. So I have to first log like what kind of props I am getting. So what I came to know by asking ChatGPT is that my entire object is resides in props.part, not only props. So that's why I was getting an error and not seeing any kind of result or even the console as well. So by iterating through props.part.map, I have to pass two arguments, sorry, parameters here, part and index, and here p tag with these exact values. Like I have to access name and exercises. But that is one thing that since I have multiple objects here in the array of objects, so I have to define the key index here. I wonder if I can log them. Console log key. Okay, so it's getting me an error. Hmm. And then I will to just pass this prop list. G add everything. PC add content component. Exercise is what exercise is this? 1.3, 1.4. Yep, I loved it. Learn something new. Now I have to work on creating a total component. So let's work on it. Total, in which the total component I will have total component I'm going to pass. So before I do anything, I would like to first log my props. Total component props here, and I will have props. Then I will return something here in my fragments. And if I have to do something logical, I will have here. So let's see total components props. So it also have array of object. Since I'm doing the same thing, but this time I have to like do summation. So const sum is equal to props dot parts dot map part index in that I will have a p tag with said key index. What I will do is a uh, 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 sum of all the par dot exercises. Is that it? Will it work? And I have to. I don't think it will work because I'm not doing any kind of sum here, right? I don't think it will work. Yeah, it just listed this but not sum. So then again, I'm just iterating through, right? I have to do sum. So mm, let's say what I can do is I can write p tag here, then move the sum to here, right? Now I what I can do is I can use let's say let's say uh reduce method. uh and we have part and index. So what I will have is is summation of exercises. So index plus, no, it's not, this is wrong. How I will do the summation? uh Reduce method is used for like summation, right? A plus b. So what I know is that doing reduce we can have a plus b, then all I have to do a plus b and then 0. This is how like I should be passed. S- but I am damn sure this is wrong. I'm getting 0 object object object. Obviously I'm gonna get this because I'm passing 3 objects, right? So how I will have my summation? uh, uh, uh doesn't first I have to like let's say I did what I did, this one. So I have 10 plus 7 plus 4, right? Now before doing anything I would like to console log sum here. So this is my sum. My sum is also like key 0 children props dot children. So if I use something like sum dot props dot children, what will I get? Mm, like, so what I'm thinking right now is that if somehow if I am able to access this, then all I have to do is like summation of this one, right? And that is what I'm going to do. So let's see previously what I did. So I did something like this, but now I do not have. And in the exercise, it's saying that I just have to pass the props. Mm, do I again have to ask AI? Mm, okay, let's brainstorm this until we are clearly know, or If not, then we will ask AI. Let's see. Mm, I have exercise here, right? And I am able to access those numbers. Now all I have to do is do summation of it. Mm, Some, but then again in the console, I am getting this one 0, 1, 2. I write something like sum of 0, then what I will get is first object 0 dot props dot 0 dot props dot children. Okay, okay. So can I like say const sum 2 is equal to sum of this to 1, and here I just have to pass to. Yep. Uh, but this feels wrong for some reason. For example, let's say I didn't loop through it and I just put together some stitches. So first, let me add this in the git. Commit this. Add total component stitches exercise 1.4 and pushing to the main. Now let's ask AI if I have to rewrite. Okay, so here in my total component, I would like to show the sum of exercises, right? Currently, I feel like I am doing some stitches, but what if the array of objects part is dynamic? So how will I manage that? This will stitch together because you are doing something real person normally never do. Extracting data from rendered JSON to compute logic. That's backward. Why? Compute with data, then render UI from the result. Never compute from rendered JSX. Right now you are doing this. Data comes, then I am using JSX, then extracting data from JSX, then computing. That's a red flag. You should instead do data, then I should compute it directly, then pass it through JSX, JavaScript, XML. Let's walk through the proper approach. Okay, what's wrong with your current solution is that this part. Yeah, I have a feeling this might. So you are creating JSX element, not numbers. Yeah, because I'm using a p tag here, right? So later you had to do this. Yep. Let me dig inside React elements to find the numbers again. Huh, yes, this is what I actually did. This is not how React is meant to be used. Okay. So when you want to aggregate values from an array, the real world tool is reduce. Example mental model is this. Code version should be like this. Sum dot part dot exercise, and in the return I have to do this. Okay, so let's scratch this and return something with the fragments with the total exercise is something this. So here I will have sum is equal to sum is equal to props dot parts dot reduce. In reduce, I'm going to give sum and part. So sum plus part dot exercises start with 0. Is that it? Will this work? Because in previous I did use reduce, but in that I didn't access this one. Let's see if it's work or not. Okay, so it's working. I see. So this was what I was doing wrong. So I'm already using the inner values using this parts dot prop, and when I'm passing through this sum and part, I already have access to those inner values. So all I have to do is accumulator. Then the part dot exercise should be a loop through one by one, like for the zeroth index, for the 1th index, and for the second index. And I would like to start with the 0 index. Like our first accumulator will be 0. Okay. So let's do this. Add, commit this. Add update total component using reduce method exercise 1.4 G. Yes, so main. Yep. Uh, okay, so let's see. Go ahead and write it. Now, exercise 1.5. But before we move in, let's have a hydration check because hydrated, we need to keep hydrated. Let's see how far we have got. So, mm, let's see. Mission step 5. Let's take the changes one step further. Change the course and its part into a single JavaScript object. Fix everything that breaks. Like, how do you do that? I don't know. How do you even do that? Course information step 5. Let's take the changes one step further. Change the course and its parts into a single JavaScript object. Fix everything that breaks. Um, let's take the changes one step further. Change the course and its parts into a single JavaScript object and fix everything. Okay, so I understood what it meant. So we have something like this. So everything will be now part of this object in which I will have a name here, and I will have this part array moved in here. And oh, this is really tricky one, but let's do it. So in the course dot name, I'm going to pass in the part and parts. I'm going to write course dot part dot part. Let's see did what few things breaks. Okay, nothing breaked. Everything is working fine. All I have to do is change few things here and there. So I can say this is really good stuff. So GST add CG update total update app component exercise 1.5 and then I added it into our main. Hmm. Okay, so let's see. I completed object, method, and this. So I think it is just both read materials. So let's read this through and wrap it up our stream. Object methods and this. Because this course uses a version of React containing React hooks, we do not need to define objects with methods. The contents of this chapter are not relevant to the course, but are certainly in many ways good to know. In particular, when using older versions of React, one must understand the topics of this chapter. Arrow functions and functions defined using the function keyword vary substantially when it comes to how they behave with respect to the keyword this. Arrow function and function defined using the function keyword vary substantially when it comes to how they behave with respect to the keyword this, which refers to the object itself. We can assign methods to an object by defining properties that are functions. Const astro. So we have an object called astro. We that includes a name, age, education, and grade. This one is a function. So there is one thing I would like to like see here if it's working or not, because I was recently got asked in this one in my interview, and I like fucked it up. So uh, let's see, where is our astro here. So suppose we have this function called greet here, and will this work? Hello, my name is Astro Hellas. Okay, it worked. So all I have to do is, but what if I use astro dot const helloa is equal to artho dot greet, just this one, and I am logging helloa. So it is giving me the entire function, this one, with like this dot name. So oh, so the name is itself is not printed here, even though it is like said. I see. So this was a mistake that I made. I said that the name, this one will be printed here, but it actually it's not, since I'm doing this. But let's say if I modified this one here, well, then what? It's gonna print, and another one is undefined. I don't know what that is. Okay, let's go move to the next one. Methods can be assigned, but wait, let me like quickly recap through. We have an Artho object with the name Artho Hellas, age 35, education is PhD. There is a greet function that we are greeting to the Artho. Hello, my name is this dot name. So accessing this one. Methods can be assigned to objects even after the creation of the objects. Okay, so so we have another what, this is a function expression, right? And we are uh, adding another function to the our original art object, grow older, and it will have this dot age, like the we are incrementing its age by one every time the artho dot age is called. Is it? Let's see if it's true. I don't think it will gonna be like every time. Let's do it again one more time. Artho.age. Let's let's do it again. Why? So we have age defined 35, and in the grow older function we are incrementing this age to 1. That means we are just incrementing it, not updating it. Like it is just assigned a value to the const variable. What if I use let for this? What if I use let when declared? Okay. Mm, I got syntax error saying identifier Artho has already been declared. So Artho here, mm, well, is that one? This one, this is. I think it should be fine. Identifier? No, it's not fine because I didn't understand what does it mean. So for const it was working fine, but for let it give me a syntax error. Let Artho here I have like defined it, and I'm using Artho dot grow older is equal to okay. Let's see. I don't want to take break. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is something a memory issue. Artho has. Let's continue where we were. Identifier Artho has already been declared. Okay. So so mm, mm, we are re adding. Actually, doesn't that mean it should work? Let's ask ChatGPT. Here, when using const, it works, but for let, we get syntax error. Why? I think it was something to do with the scope, because that's the only plausible reason I can give. Otherwise, there shouldn't be, or it has something to do with like their temporal dead zone or something. Like I know the concept, but I am not able to put it into the words. Mm, damn, it's still slow. Let's close view of them if it's taking so much space. Let's reload it. Okay, everything is working. Then why is it stuck? Mm, 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 mm. Oh man, look like I have to clear the stream right now because it's not gonna work due to hardware issue. What can I say? Well, let's continue this from tomorrow, like object method and this. Then we will also move to the C section, component state and events. Like we have some fine things coming here, page re-rendering, stateful components and whatnot. But okay, uh, my hardware issue got me good. Anyway, it was like nice working with you, you all guys.